monsters out your window. No, you can't sleep, you pretend though. You don't have to play the hero. 'Cause I got you like you got me. When the earth shakes, when the bombs scream, until our last breath, every heartbeat.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Spa. We are part way through qualifying. We've actually got about 8.5 minutes left of qualifying here. I'm joined today. I'm not a lone wolf today. I'm joined today by Amavai, who's joining us for this session. Welcome.
Hello. Done some in the past, but back finally after a long time.
That's all that matters, though.
Honored to be here. Back. Sorry, what?
That's all that matters. You're back. You're back. That's the main thing.
Yay!
Now, awesome. So, just to take you through the proceedings today. So, as we said, we've got about 8 minutes left of qualifying, just over. Obviously, the fastest time will determine who's on pole. Obviously, a grid start. We'll have a formation lap and we'll get into this racing. And when it comes to race, it's a 1 hour race. As many laps as you can. Obviously, the winner is the winner. And to put it simply, every driver has to have a pit stop within a certain time period. And we'll go into that in more detail as we go. But at the moment, the fastest times we can see is Ron. He has started off. He is actually your championship leader at the moment. After 3 rounds, we've had Brands Hatch, Silverstone and Donington Park. We're now at round 4 in Spa. So Ron has set the quickest time so far, 2:19. Who's your favourite today, Amberby?
The last time I was live with you with this championship was Brands Hatch, I believe, and I was watching a huge fight out with, I believe it was between Gunnar Gamble and Ron, with their cars in the later parts of the track. And so I'll be watching those two with their rivalry. However, the three of them, including Moan, who we now currently see in 11th place, who hasn't set a lap yet. Moan is the one I've seen come to the front every single time without fail, and that's been how it's been since the one-off GT America match that I was introduced to him with. So I have high expectations for him. No pressure to him.
Absolutely, and Moan, or Bubbles as I sometimes call him, he's currently sitting second in the championship, just the 30 points between 1 and 2 at the moment. He is actually coming off back-to-back victories at this moment in time. You know, he was last round he finished first at Donington Park. Round 2 he was first at Silverstone. Did not finish over at Brands Hatch in round 1, but you know, a great person to be able to put up a fight as well.
It's a trading shootout, is what it feels like to me, because he's traded places with Ron several times, and while they have been far away distances between one another, the poles have been their positions have been kind of bouncing between them. Absolutely.
Well, we can see Moan, or Bubbles, whatever you like to refer to him as, he's set a 2:17.6, which is a great time. You know, it's over a second quicker than Ron, who's currently sitting in second place, and both of them have said that's enough for qualifying. They've sit in the pits. They may go out again, depending on times, but some good times to start off with.
There are some other drivers here that I'd like to look at. For instance, Kenny here, driving the bright fluorescent Ferrari here. I saw him fighting it out in the mid-pack last time with a long, ever-long battle, I believe, with MX3 Beast, Offcut, and I think it was Gunnar, who was when he was knocked back. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm remembering off. But he has been consistently within mid-pack action all the time, and he's a great battler. So I wouldn't put it past him to see him start to make moves within halfway through the race. He'll be the one to watch.
Absolutely, and currently sitting in third position on this qualifying. We've got four minutes remaining of this qualifying, but there are some excellent drivers, and for sure we know full well that today we're going to have some decent action. Spa always brings some entertaining racing. We've got a lot of sharp bends, a lot of fast corners. We've got chicane in there as well. So yeah, this is bound to be entertaining.
A couple other drivers I am familiar with. Eduardo here, who I've seen play different vehicles before. I think this is the first time I've seen him in the GTR. He has been proving himself closer to the rear end of the pack. However, anytime once the race gets going, he begins to battle anyone who comes near him. So he's always a great card, a wild card for the race, to mix up positions. Even if he's not competing for the front positions, he always is the star in the minute when there's a battle going on around him. MX3 Beast is another person I've seen fighting with Offcut. It's the three Ferraris. MX3 Beast, Offcut, and Kenny have always been battling it down together. And I really saw him come out during the Brands Hatch race. And I believe one person new for me is Full Howard, who I've not seen before in the AMG.
No, absolutely, and you know, we've got 18 drivers signed up, ready to go today, which is fantastic. It's great to see a full grid. We may not always finish with 18, but we have got 18 here, which is fantastic. And can we just give a massive shout out to those reserve drivers who are giving up their time today to partake in this. I know the Wall for certain. I've seen his name there. But you know, some of the others may not have been a part of this championship before. They may be racing for the first time. So if you are joining us for the first time, and that's spectators as well, welcome. Now, just having a little flick down the names there and seeing there's a lot of Ferraris out today. We've got Ferraris.
Yeah, it's been this way earlier. It's a trend we're seeing emerge. that I've been watching emerge through the matches here. Ferrari is interesting because of its turbo reliance, but it's been known to handle extremely well under pressure, and I believe that's why drivers choose it for these hour-long races.
Absolutely, in endurance racing, you know, an hour long sitting on a sim, potentially on a controller. Maybe these drivers have just got a wheel and pedals, you know, whatever it might be. It's a long time to be sitting at home. Very different to driving on the road. And it takes a lot of concentration and a lot of strategy as well. Obviously, driving shorter races is pure racing, whereas this, you've got to incorporate pit stops in the actual race as we tick over a minute left of qualifying. But what's your sort of tactics when it comes to pits? Are you an early pitter? Do you want to pit late on? How do you see it?
I believe I'm not very familiar with endurance racing all that well because I always end up racing towards the end, having a connection issue, whatever. But I don't like to mess with traffic and beating people out of the gates, so I always like to pit at least 2 or 1 lap earlier than I know the majority is going to. Because that way I know I pass them, and then they pass me back without any fuss.
Absolutely, and we do see that as part of the tactics here quite regularly. You know, we do have, as we've got 20 seconds left of qualifying, and the drivers finishing their last laps, but we do see quite a lot of people dive into the pits early doors, and some do leave it very, very late. But it's all about getting yourself some free track, getting some space in front of you. You know, you'll hear terms like dirty air, you know, you'll hear traffic, but what's most important is the fact that you've got some clear track to be able to really put some great laps in, really. As we're seeing the cars come into the pits here and finishing their qualifying sessions, we have got a quick lap from Bubbles there at the top, 2:17.6. He hit that early doors, and that was him.
Yeah, that's the driver I've known for a long while now. Yeah, Spa is one of those dangerous tracks that you can take around at a slower pace, but if you really want to milk all the speed you can out of this track, it's all about how late do you dare brake, how wide do you dare go. Every corner here is a challenge of how much straight can you make out of a windy circuit.
Absolutely, and we're just seeing the last couple of drivers finishing off their qualifying laps. As it stands at the moment, and bearing in mind we've got 2 drivers still currently out there, but as we see Yaroslav just crossed over the line, but we've got Bubbles currently sitting in pole position, Gunnar Gamble, the other one on the front row, Ron in 3, Kenny in 4, Offcut is 5, Rob Notch is 6, Beast is in 7, Full Howard in 8, Mr. CJ in 9, Eduardo 10, Alpha Racing in 11, The Wall 12, Yaroslav is in 13, 14 is Windsor, Spider-Man in 15, Mazda in 16, Nexo is in 17, and Awesome Gumball in 18 currently. So that is your standings for the moment. Obviously, we've got a couple of people still left to complete their laps, so that could change, but that's what we're looking at the moment.
Yeah, one of those people is Full Howard in the AMG. I believe that's a 2020 model, which I have not seen in action before. We know the previous AMG models, what's their claim to fame is not their fuel, which is known to be a bit horrendous, not their speed, but their traction control, which has been seen to be incredibly adept in all situations, versus, say, the Bentley, which is very, very obviously cut.
Absolutely, and Full Howard there putting in a great time and getting himself in 5th position on the grid. So fantastic work by Full Howard. So that is your grid for this race. As it stands, best of luck to everyone. I know during the chat, if you're watching on YouTube, there's a chat function there. Please say hello if you are tuning in today. It's good to see you.
Don't forget to vote for your driver.
Driver of the day, yes. Vote for your driver of the day. So, yes, please take that vote. Obviously, driver of the day, maybe vote later on in the race rather than at the start. But guys, welcome.
And it's on any circumstances. Any driver you think you'd want to place towards the front because they need to be respected more, anyone who's a clean driver, anyone who gives us camera action, and anyone who's just plain darn fast. It's your vote, and under any circumstances, it's yours.
So just a couple of minutes until we get ourselves started. There will be a formation lap. So that means that the drivers will drive around the track for one lap, and then we'll get going. We'll start racing. Looks a little bit dark, a little bit cloudy out there today.
Dark sky today, yes. I was previewing what the conditions looked like, and there's a good chance that we're going to have struggles on the first few laps to warm those tires. It's not going to take just 2 laps as it has with those circuits. While Spa is one of long corners, the tires are going to need to be watched anytime you let off the speed.
Absolutely, and we know for certain the first couple of laps are going to be interesting. But this first corner, as we're watching out the front of, I think it's Bubbles' car there, his Ferrari, looking out the front, but there's a long straight, a slight right-hand bend, a slight left-hand and a slight right-hand, and then it's a very quick straight that we have here at Spa. So it's going to be an interesting first couple of bends here, which is going to be entertaining.
Rouge, well known for its... on the news they're saying they might just change it because of the F1 cars getting too fast for it.
Well, we're just over a minute away, so if you still want to get yourself a drink of some sort, you're still ready to get yourself going for this race. The drivers have got an hour-long race. They have to have a pit stop between 20 minutes in to 40 minutes in. So 40 minutes ago to 20 minutes ago. There's a 20-minute pit stop there. They have to pit. It's a mandatory pit stop.
And refueling must happen.
Absolutely. So they've got refueling. They've got to change their tyres as well. So it's 30 seconds overall, split 25 and 5. And that means, 30 seconds off is a good part of a lap for other people. So, and as you can see, you can't see it on your screen, but it may pop up at some point if we see the standings at any point. There's a little orange box with a 1 in it. That means they're pit stops to go. So we are soon to get underway in round 4 of the Assetto Corsa Competizione Championship for the SimZone on PS4. And here we go. We are prepared. Lights are on for this formation lap to start us off. So we'll just see the drivers here as they're moving around. Bubbles obviously out in front. He's the one going to lead the way for everyone. Just as they get used to the track, not allowed to overtake in this formation lap. You'll see the drivers weaving around. As I can see Gunnar Gamble doing that as we speak. But the whole idea is warm the tyres up, warm the brakes up, get yourself ready to race.
Racing tonight, we may see some drivers turn on their rain lights, which I've noticed is a tactic evolving in these races to better help other drivers better see them.
Absolutely, and I think with this sort of dusk period, as it were.
Yes, it can be hard to discern shadow from light.
No, absolutely, and it's only going to get darker at the end of the day. It's effectively
darker
10 p.m.
and colder and wetter. It's changing tires will be an interesting tactic to see because, like I was explaining earlier, because it takes so long for the tires to get warm, a tire change may prove losing more time than just the time spent in the pits. you see here drivers coming around the corner in every straightaway possible. They're slowing down, heating their brakes. This is a favorite tactic of Mwone, actually, I've noticed. He's causing the train of drivers to speed up and slow down and speed up and slow down like traffic. He's warming his brakes because he knows he wants to get on the brakes as late as he can, earlier than anyone else can, if that makes any sense.
No, absolutely it does. And you know, Ryan Bubbles currently sitting P2 of this championship, as at the end of this race will signify the halfway stage in this championship. So we're getting through it quite quickly, but there's going to be some great racing on today. I'm sure of it. So if you are joining us for this race, you're watching on YouTube, or anywhere else you might be watching, please do share it with your friends, with your family. Do let people know that you're watching this. It's going to be a great race, I'm sure of it. It's going to be entertaining.
Here they come sneaking around. I'm seeing the high beams coming on already on some of these cars. Staring down the road, looking them up. They want to know just how well are they going to? It's all about sizing up the driver in front of you during the first few laps to get the go on them if they haven't figured out the circuit quite yet. Drivers who have practiced will shoot ahead during these laps as they'll immediately gain their confidence back. Time between actual racing can improve the difference between, getting early on that fast lap sequence of driving versus not. Because just like, and I've done autocross, right? You're out there for a heat lap, and then you come back and you sit in the lane for 30 minutes. You're gonna forget what it was you were even doing out there. And so, drivers who have been practicing up until the last minute are going to have that bit of that edge.
Well, drivers are side by side here as we cross the start-finish line, waiting for the green lights to go. We'll start the signify the start of the race, and the countdown clock will go. So just waiting for that green light to come up as we move around.
Final bend, here we go. Cars speeding up down the straightaway.
Ready to go. They should be in double file now. The lights will turn
color
green.
For checkerboard of different vehicles. That's beautiful.
Green light, and we're off. It's a great start from Gunnar Gamble, who's going to take the slight inside here. He's taking the lead. He's going to finish.
There goes one. Well, just gets basically off of it. Gunnar Gamble going to rejoin the pack now. Oh, he crashes into Eduardo. Eduardo bounces into the wall.
This is carnage.
Then after an hour, they're all going down. Eduardo is still on the track sideways.
And Gunnar Gamble seems to have stopped as well. I think he's out of the race here.
The wall been held back. Windsor, who was starting in third for so much earlier, has been pushed all the way to the back because he couldn't make his way past Eduardo, who I believe many vehicles have now just lost and exited the race. Do they have time to repair that damage?
Well,
back to the front now.
That is not a good start. That is not a good start from these guys, and it's we've lost quite a few there by the looks of it.
Oh, we have it off track. There goes Full Howard. Will he be overtaken by Kenny just behind him? No. Drivers here are feeling a little bit offset by the start here. Wone, however, is trying to forget it as fast as he can. Just remember, there's all this racing to do. Ron getting in behind him, trying to seize in the moment here before Wone taps into that state of driving where he cannot be caught anymore. Full Howard in the hot seat in front of Kenny now. Kenny, who's been known to battle at any chance he gets.
Kenny is putting some great lines in. Full Howard goes wide, misses his line, and this may be an opportunity for Kenny. We've got sharp.
Here comes Offcut down the outside, inside. Oh, he bounces. Dive bomb.
Rob Noxious getting his corner wrong as well, and the pit lane is now open. So that is going to be interesting to see later on from race control. But what an entertaining first lap we've had so far.
Kenny eyeing down his new prey. He's never seen this car before now. How does his Ferrari pair up to the Mercedes' speed down the straightaway? Latching on tight.
Say this first lap would be entertaining. We're
Howard
now into
goes
lap
wide.
2.
Kenny now coming down the outside. Does his car have the speed to get by? Yes. Will Howard hold the inside? Yes, but they're going to break it together. Howard tries in. Kenny bounces to the inside and crosses over the curb to hold on to that position. Very aggressive.
But I'd like to think
Howard
Kenny will give
retaliates.
that back. He should give that position back. He's obviously cut the corner. He looks like he's slowing down, taking a slightly wider corner there.
I don't think he will, man. He's got the very aggressive moves here. Kenny doesn't back out to anyone from what I've seen. That'll be down to race control, I believe. Now it's Rob Noxious's turn to get by. Howard goes wide again, just as he did first lap in the same place.
There's a whole string of drivers behind there. You've got Rob Noxious, you've got Offcut, and you've got B sitting just behind for any mistake from Howard. Kenny seems to be pulling away slightly, but there's some big pressure being put on Phil Howard here at the moment.
If Offcut and Rob Noxious get by the... If Rob Noxious, Offcut, and MX3 Beast get by the Mercedes here, it'll a rejoin of the... It's the trinity of Ferraris, as we've seen previously in Brands Hatch. I missed them at Silverstone and what was it we just raced at? Donington.
Donington Park, yeah. Well, you see, Yaroslav is close behind as well, so like you said, if Full Howard misses out slightly or makes a little error,
he seems to be slowing him down, yes.
Good 4 drivers getting past him here.
Rob Noxious trying the inside. But no, Howard has that wide line with the late apex.
Well, Full Howard will certainly be looking behind him. Obviously, Rob Noxious and Offcut and even Beast are going to be looking not only in front for that overtaking opportunity.
Beast goes wide, he slides! Crashes into the top of Avier Rouge, pushing Yaroslav out to the side. FJ1 RC, F1 RC had to just avoid him there.
So the Beast
MX3
is
Beast is
back
rejoining now in last, I believe. Yes. Seems like the downforce just released its pressure just for a moment and outran his rear wheels. Couldn't save it. Yaroslav is unusually far ahead in the positions here in comparison to the late races I've seen him in. He's holding on really tight.
Absolutely.
And I believe this is the first time I've seen him with the Bentley too.
A lot of drivers going wide here, missing the apex, missing their corners. Do you think that will be because of the tyres being cold at this stage, or would it be
surely, yeah. Yes, they practiced during a daytime, and here now it's night. They're realizing it's going to take longer for their tires to warm up. There's also the sort of monkey see, monkey do effect, where Howard has been putting in this kind of hallucinatory trick. He's always been running really, really wide on that corner there, and people who are, focused on him are just going to do the same.
Well, it's interesting. I'm watching Yaroslav here on Offcut, and he's getting very, very close in behind. He's made contact once already. Luckily, there was no issue there, but this is going to be entertaining.
Can Offcut defend the Trinity?
Rob Noxious is right up the backside of Full Howard. You know, he's pushing for that overtake as well. That could come at any moment.
Two battles unfolding now. The Ferraris are on the move. Yaroslav isn't able to get by Offcut, who shoots ahead, but here comes F1RC. Yaroslav is now stuck in a Ferrari sandwich.
Rob Noxious has got a great line out there, and he's side by side with Full Howard. This is going to be entertaining.
Will Howard cut him off?
Two cars haven't gone in, and Rob Noxious pulls out quite sensibly. It's an hour-long race. There's going to be many opportunities to get past at some point, but you know, you don't want to risk it all too early doors. You know, you don't want to lose out.
Rob Noxious has to look at the inside just for a phantom moment. Here comes Yaroslav, late on the brakes. Catching back up to Offcut here. He has got target locked. Another phantom opening.
And I tell you what, Mr. CJ is right behind looking at this, licking his lips.
Touching with the contact. Yaroslav bouncing on the rear of, then breaking off of. Offcut is playing the late Apex game with them. Here comes F1. He's going to come down the inside. He looks, but he doesn't get it. Yaroslav is really late on the brakes with this Bentley. It's incredible how the Bentley, being titled the Boatley as we know it, one of the largest vehicles here, handles almost like a small vehicle in some of the faster corners.
Absolutely, there's many of them in this track as well here at Spa, but fantastic opening laps. You know, we haven't talked about the leaders too much. They're in a world of their own, but two very good battles going on. Rob Noxious close behind Full Howard, and Offcut leading the charge behind that, with Yaroslav and Mr. CJ F1 directly behind. So we're going to stick with Yaroslav here because he's really put the pressure on Offcut.
Our other Bentley, Awesome Gumball 14, is falling to the pits now. I believe he was part of the earliest accident in the race, and he's going to make the repairs for that. As he's passed down the pits by the Wall, who's been placed in last due to the accident similar in the later part of the lap. The only Porsche here.
Well, we've got some entertaining racing going on here as we cross by the start-finish line.
They're splitting up now, aren't they?
Well, I'm watching Yaroslav, who's still very close behind, and Mr. CJ's lights is coming very close as well. So we could get something going on here, but they will spread out at some point. Always happens in this sort of racing. They do spread out, especially at the 20-minute mark when the pit lane opens. There's some great racing starting and entertaining.
F1
for the,
looks, but Yaroslav blocks.
Well, someone's gone off. Nixo's off a spun, and he's going again.
Lap 4 introduces the darkest track yet. How are those tires holding up?
Well, track temperature is at about 9 degrees Celsius, so pretty cool out there. Obviously the drivers don't feel that. They'll be sitting at home or wherever they're racing, but you know, it does have a massive effect on the vehicles, on the tyres especially, as we mentioned before, and that's why these drivers are making some mistakes. You know, some excellent drivers out on the show, but mistakes do happen with cold tyres, so they've got to be rather wary of that. Maybe play a safer game, which we didn't see on the first lap. We saw a rather aggressive first lap with multiple vehicles going off.
Wow, we should get a lap here on board with Howard here. He is using every bit of curb he gets, even if it invalidates the lap. He is pushing the limits of track limits. That's what he's doing. We need to get a cam on this guy.
Well, we've got this battle for fourth at the moment, as you mentioned. Full Howard. We've got Rob Noxious about half a second behind. It looks a little bit closer than that as he goes wide as well. And Offcut about a second behind that. So it's all really, really close here. And Yaroslav, again, he's close in behind. So this four-way
For the first
race
time,
is
Howard goes
really
in with
close.
the early line. Yellow flag coming out ahead. Rob Noxious, right on. Going to the outside now. Will he have to squeak by? The Ferrari's turbo keeps it carrying. Will Howard brake later than he's used to? Yes. And no! Back to the inside to the Ferrari's favor. He takes it.
Great
Howard's now banished back to in front of Hofcut now. Hofcut now inspired by Rob Noxious's overtake will put his Ferrari to the test now. Howard is now in the Ferrari sandwich as well.
And Yaroslav Bentley is waiting for that pass as well to see if he can sneak through too. So it's entertaining.
Oh, look how selective they are with where they touch the curb on the inside here. Oh, late braking by Howard. Really late braking by Howard. Offcut almost sees by. They bump. Yaroslav bumps. Howard made a mistake and it cost him. He almost just got cut by. He got lucky. Will he do it again next lap? Yaroslav goes wide, but not wide enough.
Well, this has given the opportunity for Rob Noxious to squeeze ahead. He's got some yards in front, but Offcut is really all over the back of Howard here. And Yaroslav
bumps into Offcut!
Gone!
Offcut's gone sideways! Just like the first lap all over again. Oh no, he's been put backward into the wall. His light's flickering. How is that damaged Yaroslav, do we believe? Yaroslav is unfazed with F1 RC behind him.
Well, that's given Howard a real advantage here. Full Howard is gained from that massively, and it's actually made Mr. CJ catch up massively with Yaroslav, so that's still on.
Offcut rejoins his brethren, MX3 Beast. The two are now together as they were at Brands Hatch. Will Offcut see himself by MX3 Beast?
Well, we haven't mentioned the leader as such yet. Ron is out in front. He's 6 seconds in front of Kenny, who's in P2. Moan Bubbles, he's in P3, 3 seconds behind. Rob Noxious is then in P4, which you've mentioned, and then it goes into this midfield battle, which really is a battle at this moment in time. There's more contact than driving by the seams of it.
Interesting here, we have the wall in between first and second here with his Porsche. Seems like they've already begun to lap him. Apparently for the longest time he has been driving this Porsche now, but the last time I've seen him, no, I think the last time I saw him was a long while ago, and he still drove the Ryder. So it was interesting for me to see him jump from the Ryder to the Porsche, two completely different vehicles.
Don't forget, if you're watching today, you can vote for your driver of the day. Please do that at some point during this race. We've had 44 minutes left of this race so far. So we've had 16, so that will soon mean that in
Kenny.
4 minutes time. 4 minutes
Kenny
time.
Onto wall. Will he get by as fast as he can? Oh, wall slows down for him. Bull Howard is in still a better position than he was before. Oh, here comes Yaroslav, braking late. We have a no. Yeah, this is the closest battle here so far.
Well, as you can see, the drivers are starting to spread out slightly. We've still got a battle between Yaroslav's Bentley and Full Howard's Mercedes going on.
Once again, Yaroslav beautifully late on the brakes. I have never seen him this aggressive before. He has found something in that Bentley he didn't have previously. Yaroslav working his way up there.
So Yaroslav is still behind Full Howard, but keeping that pressure on. You know, we've got just under 2 minutes into this.
Are we on board with him?
I certainly am. I'm certainly watching. He's right on the back, and he's getting some great lines here. We've got fast corners coming in here. Yaroslav goes off the track slightly. Not sure what happened there. It was on a straight line, but he's still keeping that pressure on.
He had to reach his hand for the bag of chips. That's what he had to do. Just showing how comfortable he is eating Mercedes for breakfast. No? Noon where I am. Afternoon where you guys are.
Yeah,
jeez, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner all together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good line there from Yaroslav as Full Howard went wide, so there may be an opportunity here to get right in behind here and maybe look for an overtake as we go past the next couple of corners. So I'm on board with Yaroslav. I can see on YouTube you guys are probably watching that as well as the flash of the lights from Full Howard as well. Definitely night time here now in Spa.
Oh. Next to going off track, then coming back on. Update: Offcut had fallen just behind MX3 Beast after his accident, but it seems like he's a ways behind now. It's possible that his damage has created a serious denomination from his time. Absolutely, and like real life, though this is sim racing, the vehicles still do get damage on their cars, so it does have an effect. As you see, hard enough, and you will find yourself driving down the straightaway with your wheel 90 degrees to the right.
Here we go.
There goes Howard.
Really wide.
Yaroslav, seeing the inside. Howard takes the sand, dives back over right behind into Yaroslav's bumper. The two jockey a little, but I believe Yaroslav has got it in the bag.
What happened there?
I think Howard tried to pull off the same stunt with less success. That's the difference between salt and vinegar chips. You see,
it may be Full Howard's setting up for the pits. That could be an option as we watch to see who dives into the pits first. We'll keep our eye out to see if anyone dives in. We'll try and let you know as early as we possibly can. But Full Howard might be setting that up. It could have been a reason as to why he went wide there, but a little bit strange to see the person in front going to pit as we see.
Oh yeah, there he goes.
Does.
Oh, bounces off the wall a little. He knows what he's
the
up
old
to,
Lewis
though.
Hamilton. He is driving a Mercedes, so they may have to bounce off the wall to go into the pits. That may be a thing there. So
you see, that's the difference. Yaroslav there was reaching himself for a bag of lightly salted potato chips, but no, not Full Howard. Full Howard decided to go for the salt and vinegar, and he paid for it. So he has to finish his bag of chips in the pits now.
Other flavours are available, I should say. Other flavours are available. No product placement here, guys. So it is all spread now, and let's take this opportunity. I know Mr. CJ is about a second, well, he was just about a second behind. Yaroslav, he's taking a little bit of a scenic route, got a little bit sideways through the chicane there. But let's talk about Ron up front at the moment. 3 seconds in front of Kenny. What a great start.
I'm surprised how well Kenny is holding on to in this sort of clean air situation. His environment for the longest time I've been seeing was in the middle of the pack, battling it out. He's a really, really strong contender when it comes to fighting, but I haven't seen him in this sort of stretched environment. He seems to be, you know, having a little bit of that of twitchiness. It could just be my connection here. But he really is going it out for himself, especially putting himself ahead of Muon, with closer to Ron than he is to Muon. Both in the Ferrari, it'll be down to see who utilizes it better or makes a mistake first. Ron far ahead in the rattling Lexus, which I have driven before, and there he goes into the pits now. Will Kenny follow? No, Kenny decides to use this time to take first while it lasts, and Muon as well chasing after. About Ron's Lexus, the Lexus I've noticed is probably one of the stronger contenders of the front engine vehicles. I don't know about how it is on fuel, but it feels really, really good, especially in the lower speed corners. It's very, very stable.
Well, we have heard that Full Howard has picked up a time penalty. It's a stop-go penalty. I believe that would have been for speeding in the pits. So a 30-second stop-go penalty. That means it's got to come into the pits again, stop for 30 seconds, and then go again. Which is not a good thing to pick up, is it, in the pits?
Here comes Offcut out of the pits now. Windsor and Offcut are in the pits. Offcut coming back out into 11th. No, 12th now. Slotting behind the wall, being chased by... who is that? Gumball pits. MX3 is now pitting. Oh, we have a spin from Mazda in the Ferrari, the white Ferrari. That was a beautiful 360, actually. So it stayed perfectly on track and caught it. Like a James Bond movie is what it was like. Only with Ferraris. You know, they don't say James Bond doesn't only have to be from Britain. You can dance in France and use Italian vehicles too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he does like a sports car, doesn't he, our James Bond?
Oh, we have an off-course Alpha Racing! Oh, Yaroslav! No, I believe that's Offcut, who just dodged into the sand. That was incredible.
It looks like there's an issue there as well. Who else has gone off? Offcut? Yeah, he's into the wall as well.
Yeah, he dived. He was in the middle of braking. I think he had an ABS moment. Slid forward as he was coming up upon Alpha Racing, who was completely sideways on the edge of the track. He janked his wheel the other way and flew toward the sand, spinning, and then turned the wheel again the other way. And I believe he just spun as well. Traffic is no different in real life than in races, folks. You see a vehicle, both feet in, spin.
Well, we've got the top 7 still needing to pit at the moment. The top 7 still need to go in and have their pit stop. As Alpha Racing dives into the pit, so he's one that is going to be in there.
Malone must have... No, it was Rob Noxious who pitted already. Now coming in just a ways behind Muon and Kenny now. Interesting now because Muon was just a couple laps earlier 4 seconds behind, but he's now coming up onto 3 seconds behind Kenny. Muon is making good time here, so it'll be interesting to see if he will fall in the pits with Kenny to continue his battle or supersede it.
Well, the other option he's got is that if he stays out and has clear track in front of him, he can make up some some time in front. And with a good 13 minutes left of this pit window, if he uses most of that, he could easily get a decent distance, and even maybe not quite a full pit distance in between there, but it'll give him a good opportunity to build some space between the two.
I was just looking around for Gunnar Gamble, then I realized once again he had the accident at the first part of the race. It has quitted the race already. It's just not the same without the three battling it out as before. That Lamborghini, which we'll miss.
We've got just having a little look at the chat here on YouTube. We've got some big shout outs. The Lazy Camel shouting out for Carl and for Kenny. Awesome Gumball who left us earlier
Howard's
on.
taking that stop and go now.
And see Bubbles Rona's dived into the pits as well, so he's having his pit stop now too. Awesome Gumball disconnected. His race was ruined. We'll leave that to the stewards to talk about that.
We started with 18 cars, was it? We've lost four of them now?
Absolutely. So Ron in full control of this at the moment. You know, he's had his pit stop. He obviously wants to get round and get in front of all these guys in the pits at the moment, but we will soon see. They've got 30 seconds in the pit. It's quite a long pit lane here at Spa, so
everyone is coming in now. F1, Yaroslav, Obnoxious, Wone. Who else now is coming in?
Mazda's just dived into the pits too. It's bizarre they're all coming in now, though.
Stop and go now.
They're all coming in together, which is rather bizarre. Normally you see it spread out.
That is the power of night. Oh, there goes Offcut, spinning up to the top of Eau Rouge. Coming to stop. Will he continue? No, he's gone back to the pits. I believe he's just returned to garage. He may claim himself done. Windsor now takes past everyone in the pits.
So left to pit is still Kenny. We've got the wall. We've got Nexo still left to pit. Offcut has left us. Did not finish.
Ron,
three drivers
Alpha,
left to
the
pit.
Wall. No, Ron, Alpha, MX3 Beast, and Windsor, I believe, are the last to pit. Oh, and Full Howard? No, he must be. He cleared the stop and go. How is he still not completed his? Oh, yeah, he's good. No, I was reading backward. The Wall, Mazda, and F1. Nope, F1 just has completed it now. Mazda will be completing it now. The Wall hasn't. Nixu hasn't, and Kenny hasn't. Interesting how everyone behind him has now pitted, but Kenny has chosen to stay out. Perhaps he's going for the exact halfway mark with just passed, but he's going around for another lap again.
We've still got 9.5 minutes of this pit window left open, so he's got plenty of time to take it. That's a good 4 laps potentially.
Perhaps he wants to use it at the last moment. Maybe he has some sort of sprint setup in the bag that we don't know about. All cars coming back out onto the track now in their new arrangement. Ron now leading Wone by 5 seconds. Rob Noxious, who was earlier, I believe, 15 seconds behind, is now 18 seconds behind. He's being chased up by Yaroslav, who we've seen great performance today, standing a strong 5th place after all the accidents and off tracks he's seen today. That Bentley has seen a lot with its 4 eyes. Behind him comes F1 RC, who has been his companion throughout the rest of the race. The two have been really close. I don't know about mentally, but I do know physically. And then after them, we have Mazda, who we've seen have some beautiful dance moves. Alpha, who we've seen play Think Fast several times under the racers. And the Wall, who's been very consistent but hasn't placed himself higher than 9th today so far. After him comes MX3 Beast, who I've seen have a couple of spins. He started around here and he's still around here. And in the back we have Windsor, who actually, I believe, was really close towards the front after the accident, but then hit the second one, and he was just victim to Eduardo, who also has left the race now. Windsor was just stuck into the side of Eduardo's car. He could not get out. As you can see, he's now 50 seconds behind. He's behind MX3 Beast. Then after them we have Full Howard? How do you get back here? Oh, the stop and go. Of course. He's taken 2 pits, so now he's gone all the way back down to 12th.
So Kenny has dived into the pits. So he's in the pit lane.
Oh, here we go. Here's a moment here, actually. Full Howard, who's now in 12th, is totally having a look down on Ron in 3rd. There he goes. Ron lets him by. That was interesting. Is Ron slowing up his pace, do you believe?
Well, Full Howard has certainly been shown the blue flag. They're supposed to let him go, but clearly not. And I would understand.
Well, I think it's actually reversed because Ron just let him go by. Full Howard is pushing. How long will he hold out with this push after the stop and go penalty? Is he angry? Is he? I don't believe he's accepted his fate yet. We've yet to go through the rest of the 6 stages. Right now, he's in denial. We have Mazda here getting a attack from Alpha. Mr. James Bond now is going to fight Think Fast. The black and the white, the light and the dark. Ooh, here comes Alpha down the inside. Heading to the long sweep. Number 7's off course. Who's that? Oh, that's Nixu. Alpha bouncing on the back of Mazda. This is a battle right here now. Number 23, number 28. Oh no!
Done out for a favour.
Arg! Will Mazda be able to fight back?
Well, Mazda has missed out there big time with Nixu getting in the way, he would say. But Alpha has jumped on that opportunity and gone straight past.
Nixu going wide. Yeah, Alpha just knew that the moment when he saw it, he's a total opportunist here. He maybe Mr. Thinks Fast for others, but he's definitely Mr. Thinks Fast for himself.
Absolutely, and we see Kenny has taken the lead. So after everyone apart from
Nixu getting let by Mazda. Now comes Mr. MX3 Beast, who hasn't seen a life and a soul in eons. He's probably thinking, dear God, is that another car?
And Full Howard is off the course. As yellow flags in Sector 1. He looks like he's stopped. His engine stopped, and I believe he's going to be retiring very soon.
He's gone straight to the other sequences now. He's just gone straight to number 7, Acceptance. Straight from denial to acceptance. Alpha getting away with his distracting blinky light. Has MX3... Oh, we have a crash on track. Oh, no, it's not. It's just number 229 off.
So Kenny leading Bubbles. Everyone's pitted, as we were saying. Kenny leading Bubbles, 3.38 difference. The 3.38 seconds, the gap between the two of them. So that's going to be entertaining a little bit later on, I believe. We've got Ron in 3rd. Rob Notches in 4th, Yaroslav in 5th, Mr. CJ in 6th, Alpha Race in 7, MX3 Beast in 8, Mazda in 9, Windsor 10, The Wall in 11, Nixo 12, and Full Howard has returned to the pits. That'll probably be a retirement for him. So that's the lineup.
Mr. Nixu here in 12th place, the number 7 vehicle, still hasn't pitted quite yet. If anyone can let him know, he's got just this lap to pit, I believe.
That's if he can get around in one piece as well.
True. Oh yeah. Yaroslav is finally meeting his companion. F1 is like, hey buddy, you miss me? The two have been close to one another throughout the race, just within distance, but they're finally back to the same battle we saw here when Full Howard was still in the name. They're battling, going wide. Yaroslav, however, puts the power down on the Bentley and skirts away.
Let's see how the Ferrari is in the braking zone, though. He could catch up some decent time here as the Bentley of Yaroslav is just pulling away ever so slightly.
Yaroslav is putting the pedal to the metal now. He's going back to where we saw him earlier in the race. He's just using that. He's got two modes. He's got normal and then he's got turbo. Right now he's in turbo mode once again, where he brakes very, very, very late. So if F1RC is using him as a braking point, he shouldn't dare to brake any later.
Well, here we go. Yaroslav might have the slight advantage on the straights, but Mr. CJ is certainly catching here. He's taking some great lines. Yaroslav can be a little bit wayward sometimes on his lines, and I think Mr. CJ is going to have a little go here. He's setting up quite nicely.
Oh, F1 with a little too much speed causes him to brake. Could Yaroslav be brake checking? Oh, F1RC bounces into the wall! Who are they being sought down by now? Who's that?
He might have had a little bit of oversteer there, Mr. CJ, but whoever's just behind him, it might be Nexo behind them. Is that 20?
Oh yeah, it's the wall.
The wall.
Update. We earlier saw them 3 seconds apart. Now on 2 seconds apart. Kenny in 16 laps is finally seeing Lone come up onto his rear mirrors here. We may see a battle in a couple more laps. But back to Yaroslav.
That'd be interesting for Wayne and Bubbles in a couple of laps' time. You know, talking probably about 4 or 5 laps' time, which you've got plenty of time for. That's going to be a real close battle, which is going to be exciting for the race lead and the tournament championship as well. Obviously, Bubbles in 2.
Niksu, like a champion, just clears his pit requirement just as the window closes. Now that was calculation, if you ask me.
Pit window is now closed.
I don't know if that was chance. I don't know if that was planned. That was amazing.
Either way, it is done as we see Mr. CJ F1RC getting close again to Yaroslav.
Thank you, drivers, for clearing up the panels here for the pits. I'm seeing a beautiful green line down the roster here. That's what we like to see.
Mr. CJ's got the inside here. He's going to have the outside for this next left-hander. When he cut back, he makes contact. Just hold it. Yaroslav held it. That's some great.
In any case, Yaroslav thinks it's worth it. F1RC is going to try the same thing he saw last lap, but this time he'll know to expect Yaroslav's different braking.
And I tell you what, Bubbles is now less than a second behind Kenny here at the front.
Windsor goes by.
Windsor. Just lapping Windsor.
Okay, here we go.
Bubbles is right at the back of Kenny.
This is what Kenny feared. Kenny, who's been out of battling for so long, usually rather good at it. Does he still have that at the forefront of his mind, or has he placed it in the basement and now he's desperately searching for it as Lone is asking for the keys to the basement?
He's dived up the inside here, so he's leading in front. Is he going to have the pace?
Kenny, even without his current knowledge at the front of his mind now, doesn't back out. He never does and he never will.
Side by side, contact. They both hold it. Kenny's off the track. Kenny stay back on.
That was incredible. Lone backed off to let Kenny by, but to let Kenny have what he asked for, but Kenny continued to floor down the accelerator, bounced off the outside wall, and then slung his car back in front of Wone. As we've seen with Kenny before, anything's worth it for him. As the race now narrows down to only 12 drivers at Windsor going off. Windsor just might retire now, locking it down to 3 drivers. No, Windsor doesn't give up, and that is what I like to see.
And I tell you what, Mr. CJ and Yaroslav are now having a battle as well in this fast, long
Kenny goes
backstraight
off course again. Back to Yaroslav. Here comes F1 down the inside. He goes a little wide so that Yaroslav cuts down on the outside overtake. Now he has the inside. And F1 lets him go. Another weird braking moment for Yaroslav.
Normally these middle parts of the race are very much just watching drivers, talking about races, etc. But we have had some serious racing all the way through this race so far. What an entertaining race!
Kenny has is getting more attacks from Wone now. It seems he's found whatever he was looking for in the cellar. That knowledge he needs to race. And it's back in him now. Wone has just asked for another battle. Wone with really incredibly late braking, scaring Kenny down to the inside of the corner.
Oh, Kenny's got the slight acceleration on the outside of that bend there, so he's got a little bit of pace coming into the tight right-hander, and then we go into the fast part of the course, so this is going to be entertaining. Who is your money on? This is 50-50 at this moment in time. This is some great racing.
Oh, I don't know what to say. Kenny is trying every trick he's got on the book. He's turned on his little rain light, which in the Ferrari is a little blinky thing. Will that annoy Wone? Anything counts for Kenny. We may have even seen the hazards come on here in a minute, just for confusions. In fact, I think they are maybe on, actually.
And Mr. CJ and Yaroslav are still not
Oh,
wanting
Rob Noxious
to give up.
spins! He was in 4th. Will he stay in 4th? Because here comes Yaroslav and R1. They're coming up fast. Will Rob Noxious be able to make it to the corner before they come too close?
Mr. CJ really catching Yaroslav. He's not going to have enough pace here to overtake. Late on the brakes. Yaroslav, I guess contact and he's gone. He spun. Mr. CJ's waiting around. He's going to lose a place as well.
Oh no, who was that? I think that's the wall we saw earlier. Yes, the wall sneaks by.
And Mr.
He's
CJ's
already
got
lapped down, but it matters to him.
I think Mr. CJ's trying to wait for Yaroslav to come back past him. I think that's what he's doing. And he is. He's letting him go, flashing him go. So that is great racing there. I like to see that. Because
that is what we like to see. Yes, sir.
A great battle between these two.
And Justin picked it up right off where they had it before. That's sportsmanship right there.
Absolutely.
Rob Noxious can now wipe his brow as the two had an accident that keep them far behind him. Can he hold on to 4th for the remaining 15 minutes?
Well, as long as these two are battling each other, I'm sure he will do, because it's slowing them down compared to what Rob Noxious is doing, but he's got to keep himself on track. He's got to concentrate, and that's the biggest thing in these hour-long races, is that you really have to concentrate for the whole thing. Any slight slip up.
Is slowly losing time here. He's getting even more and more desperate here to take Kenny during the remaining few minutes of this race. You know, he was earlier half a second, then he was 700, then he was 900. Now he's in 2nd and 3/4.
Absolutely. So he's losing time. Kenny gaining time, it could be, rather than Bubbles losing time. We never know, but Mr. CJ right on the back of Yaroslav here. Is he going to try and take a dive up the inside? No, I don't think so here, but hopefully we'll get the bend to come on the outside here. So here we go. He's got the line. He's right behind Yaroslav. In his slipstream here.
Yaroslav's going to
so
go for the
anything
really
happen-
late apex now. F1 decides to do the same. F1, oh, he has a little bit of an inside
Oversteer.
wheel spin, the differential overcompensating for it. That just lost him the speed he just had there for a moment. But here he comes down the straightaway, the turbo kicking in, latching onto him like a leech. It's in the Ferrari's favor to stick behind the vehicles down those straightaways. I noticed they've got this slipstream effect that just sucks them in.
Absolutely. So Mr. CJ
Yaroslav going in for the really late braking.
Oh, an oversteer. He's gone off.
He's placed himself off course. And F1 R1C in the same place as last lap gets away, but even with a bigger difference in time now. As Yaroslav will fall behind, was that Alpha Racing? No. Was that? Who was that? Was that the wall?
No, Alpha Racing is a little bit further behind, but we've now got MX3 Beast right on the back of Alpha Racing, so that's given us someone else to talk about. And Mr. CJ spins. A little bit of oversteer there, so he's given us
Yaroslav had a moment too. Here comes Alpha. It's going to be the same thing as we saw with Yaroslav is just gained time back on F1. The two are going to have are they going to have accommodative errors here?
Well, this is the time where things start to happen. It's, it is night time here in Spa. But again, drivers are losing concentration. They've been racing for a good 50 minutes already. So, as we see, Ron has gone off track. He's spun as well now. Currently sitting in third place.
It's the combined effects of knowing, right? If these racers had been out here and they didn't know when the race would end, then we might see things happening differently. But because this is sim racing and because they have the HDD available to them all the time, they are constantly glancing at the clock, and it reads 20. No, now it reads 17. Now it reads 15. They're going to continue to watch the time wind down as the amount of time for them out there on track to gain whatever position they've been seeking for changes. They're going to get more and more bolder with even less and less focus on this long track.
Absolutely. We've got MX3 Beast right up the backside of Alpha Racing here. He could make a move now.
This is his moment. He's been waiting.
He's within a second. He's in that strike zone. He's in great position here to go past. Has he got the pace?
The shadow black matte Ferrari holding in front so far. Yaroslav is getting closer to F1. Or no, who's that? That's
Nixu. So, yeah. Well,
interesting. Oh, there it goes.
Bubbles.
Windsor just gets Bubbles gets by Windsor. Yeah, the leaders are coming back again now. But interesting moment to mention is that the trade between Yaroslav's position of what we've seen in previous races by him, at least for me, Yaroslav has been a back marker who's been playing games with the front leaders now, but it's now interesting to see him come up on a back marker, almost like a revisitation of the self. Like he's looking into a mirror of the past, as he passes Nixu here, who lets him by, just as he once did.
Absolutely, and it just shows the experience, the potential training and the amount of racing that people are doing. It just shows the improvements that people are having, going from a back marker to now actually competing in the midfield. It's great to see Yaroslav improving on his driving. As I see MX3 Beast here really getting close behind Alpha Racing again. Within 0.5 of a second here, MX3 Beast. He's come on a slightly different line to normal. He's come on the inside. But great bit of
Nixie
corner
was
in there.
having a strange fantasy of chasing Yaroslav now.
Well, we've got 8 minutes of racing in this SimZone. Round 4 in the ACC PS4 racing here in this championship. So we've got Kenny leading away.
Off. Oh, Alpha goes on to cut it.
He's got wide.
Oh, he got a penalty for that. I don't think so. We didn't see Mr. Kenny get as you say, we didn't see him get a penalty from his earlier move.
Right, MX3 Beast has got the line now. Here he goes. He's right up the backside. He got a better chicane there. So he's now got a real opportunity. He's in striking distance again. Slightly too much on the power into that corner there, which will just lose him a couple of seconds here and there.
Number 23 and number 28 duking it out for the last 7 minutes of this race. The track is still 90 degrees. Not 90. 9 degrees Celsius.
So Kenny is leading. He's a good second and a half in front of Moan Bubbles.
Moan has been losing more and more time again, yes. Perhaps Moan is just, after the earlier really close dodge, perhaps Moan realizes it's not in his blood to go full attack like he does previously. Usually Moan plays the long game of striking when someone makes a mistake or has been foddling over something, but it seems Moan realizes there's no time for the long game anymore. Or perhaps he's just patiently waiting.
Absolutely.
Kenny
if you're
now,
watching in,
especially for Kenny now, who's been having immense pressure now, right? With Gunnar Gamble out of the picture, with Ron out of the picture now, which heavens knows how he ended up that far down. With Kenny now, all three of the contenders he's been watching from the back of, he's been behind them all this time. And suddenly, he finds himself in first place. This has got to be a very, very pressured moment for him. Right, an immense, 15 minutes it's been? 10 minutes it's been now for him in the lead like this. And he's got 5 more minutes to go in the hot seat of first place where he's never been before, to my knowledge, especially ahead of his rivals who are supposed to be an echelon above him. This is a proving moment for him. If he takes this home, he'll be regarded under a new name now.
so if you are watching on YouTube and you have the chat function available to you, comment on there. Who's your driver of the day so far? Any shout outs that you want, we can do that. So just put them on the chat, get engaged. I know Gumball is making a few comments as well on there. So some great racing going on here though. I'm still watching MX3 Beast right up the backside of Alpha, really putting some real pressure on. Probably got 2 laps here, lap and a half for these.
And anything can happen in these late laps. I've seen the ending of the GT America race, which I think both of these drivers were actually around to see. That was a race that proved even the last lap matters. So the craziest things happen. So we'll be waiting here for this race's equivalent of that.
Absolutely. As Alpha goes wide, it gives MX3 Beast the run. Taking some
here he
great
comes.
lines here.
They're really close now, heading into everyone's favorite overtake point. Will they break equally? Alpha guarding the outside, then diving to the inside. MX3 Beast frustrated as he just cuts over across. MX3 Beast tries to establish presence prior, Is he going to turn the other side? Yes! Now he's placed Alpha on the outside. Will he brake late? No. Seems MX3 has lost a little time there. Will MX3 Beast lock himself to the back of Alpha as he did the other laps, or will he find a new line through? This time he avoids the curbs.
He's got some real
Coming
pace
in
on
close
here.
now. Here we go. Turbo pushing him out to the outside. Will he play another trick as he just did in the previous corner? Both of them go really, really late. MX3 Beast has had enough and he's crossing over, but Alpha will not let him. It doesn't seem the two of them are going to be side by side. Is Alpha's just going to let him by? And MX3 Beast, no. Then MX3 Beast lets him by. Alpha shoots back into the in front of him, and we are back where we were before a lap ago.
Great bit of driving there, and I think Alpha just reminded MX3 Beast of his responsibilities of letting him back in front again, and rightfully so. Let him back, both of them cutting the corner. This is a great battle between these two.
That's the first Ferrari we've seen today. Maybe that's the first Ferrari we've seen today actually return the position after the cut.
Just looking at the timing screen, Bubbles is actually catching Kenny, but very, very slowly. So he may have an opportunity, though. Kenny has still got to do another lap. It's going to be interesting to see if he can keep that going as we see MX3 Beast get really close to Alpha again. It's a real good battle going on here.
Kenny goes wide this time as it's his turn to run on the rumble strip. Will he play the same game as he did last lap in this corner, or has he come up with a new tactic this time around? His mind is concocting an idea. Alpha Racing decides once again to guard the outside. MX3 Beast has a different means of that chicane, coming really close this time around.
Well, he's a lot closer than he's been previously.
Go to the inside. Is he going to do the outside? No, he's going to come to the inside. Very late braking. Will it cost him? Yes, Alpha getting on the power early. Side by side, but I believe Alpha has the lead. Will MX3 Beast let off the gas? It's a shootout now. They bounce.
Contact.
MX3 Beast goes wide. Will Alpha blame him? Will Alpha back down to blame himself? No, that was all MX3 Beast's fault. As Alpha rightfully continues on. The game of claim plays itself out once more.
Well, you've got to take your hat off to MX3 Beast. He's really trying here as we tick over the final couple of seconds. So the final lap is the final lap.
He has, I believe he just passed, yeah. There we are.
So this is the final lap, and Moan Bubbles is actually really quite close. It says 1.2 seconds, but actually I think
it doesn't look that way, does it?
He's really pushing here, isn't he? He's really going for it. The final lap, you know, this is do or die, really. He's got to take this opportunity as we cross over Sector 1 timing line. So let's see the time on the clock. It's still 1.1, 1.2. I think they look a little bit closer than what they actually are then.
No, they are. I'm counting. It's 1 and just a little over. It does look closer than that,
Racing goes wide as well, and MX3 Beast is now within 0.2 of a second. Again, very, very close between these two. There's going to be a move on here between these two, I'm sure of it.
MX3 Beast knows this is the last lap. He's going to try something ridiculous. Yes, he comes really close. And he pays for it, going way out. And that was it. That was his move. He knows he at least had a fun try. MX3 Beast backs out as for the last corner. late braking, but I believe that's that.
Well, Kenny hasn't actually finished yet, so they can still race until Kenny has crossed the finish line.
Oh, you're
so
right, you're
got
correct.
the final lap to go.
You're correct. I think MX3 Beast has just realized that now as he comes over. Bouncing off the wall. MX3 Beast and I sharing brainwaves there for a minute. Wait, there's still one more lap left?
And there's
That
two
sort of thing.
corners here for Bubbles to make a move on Kenny. So Kenny is approaching that start-finish line. A couple of drivers in front. It shouldn't make a difference. Flashing his lights to celebrate. A great win for Kenny. He is finished.
Interesting.
Bubbles over the line. A second and a half behind. Great racing from those two.
Niksu, who's been in the back all this time, is coming into the pits with a wobbling car with a singular headlight. Seems to be barely keeping it straight now. I wonder whatever happened to him while we weren't focusing.
Well, we can see the fireworks going off as MX3 Beast is not finished yet. He's still got work to do on Alpha Racing. So this is going to be an interesting final lap from these two as we see Ron just crossing over the finish line now to take the final podium position. And Ron Knox just going to finish in
Beast
fourth.
closing in fast. They are closer now than they were the previous two laps. Alpha gets a little bit of a stretch here as MX3 Beast has a little bit of a swivel. Notice how MX3 Beast is taking the inside curve where Alpha isn't.
He's definitely pushing his car to the limit, MX3 Beast. That Ferrari is taking a battering in this this final lap.
You're going to need to change the shocks on that thing afterward now.
A great shot of the fireworks in the background, but the fireworks are still on track here because MX3 Beast is not giving us up for the final
He's braking
chicane.
really late! Bouncing under the rear. There goes MX3
and he
Beast.
stops.
Believe he's just going to, yep, there we go. Continue back on where we had before. They might leave out this last corner here. I believe MX3 Beast has proven himself. Yep, he's sorrying.
Well, fair play to MX3 Beast, flashing his lights to say well done to Alpha Racing, flashing his lights, great sportsmanship. That's what we like to see from these guys. This is all about sportsmanship, so it's great to see those two. What a race we have had.
Alpha flashing back. What have you been trying, man? I know you're crazy. I know this is the last lap, but that was unacceptable.
Well, at least he didn't go and take the position. That is the main thing. So, as we're just watching
Indeed.
Mazda just coming round and finishing off this race, the all final standings for this race, we have Kenny in P1, Road Bubbles in 2, Ron in 3 making the podium, Rob Noxious in 4, Mr. CJ 5, Yaroslav 6, Alpha Racing 7, MX3 Beast 8, great race at the end between those two, Mazda 9, The Wall in 10, Windsor 11, and Nixo finishing in the pits.
He's still going around.
12.
He's got his car fixed this time around. With a singular headlight, he's going to complete his finishing lap. On board with the Porsche here as he comes through the wide corners. The wall was still out there. The wall was joining him out there. The Porsches are together. Nope, the wall stops. It's now just on to Yixu to finish his race. Let us count the vehicles who have gone in their order. I believe first to go out was Gunnar Gamble, who realized immediately that he was not going to play a game where he wasn't in the front. Then we had Eduardo, who had his accident, taking Spider-Man with him. Then we had, I believe it was Awesome Gunball, who found his rear position too far back to keep him happy. And then Offcut, who, after a number of battles, went to spin into the grass too many times for his own tastes. And then Full Howard, who did the same. And there we go. Nixu is now going to continue his... I believe he's... No, wait. He's still on track. He's 3 laps behind, I guess. He's to make them? Yeah, It says he still has some time to go until he gets the checker, but yeah, it's over for him.
So that is that here for Spa today. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the race. Please support our drivers on the Discord group, in the chat. Please support them. Thank you as well to Amavi for joining me today. It was great to work with you. This is the first time that we've been working together, so thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed, and we look forward to seeing you guys all again next weekend for some more action.
Terribly sorry for my amateur commentating. Thank you.